We are learning details about a weekend pursuit that started in Gretna, ended near Lincoln, and put a Tennessee man behind bars. Saturday night, Nebraska State Patrol says a vehicle sped away from a traffic stop on Highway 6 in Gretna. Omaha's police helicopter tracked the vehicle, which eventually headed west on Highway 92 into Saunders County. Then the Nebraska State Patrol's aerial unit took over as the suspect turned south on Highway 79. Eventually, Lancaster County deputies used stop sticks, bringing the suspect to a halt just north of Lincoln. 42-year-old Juan Avant of Memphis, Tennessee, was arrested for charges related to the pursuit and drug possession. Nebraska State Patrol says the chase lasted more than 1 hour. Frightening moments in